Dear students, welcome again. We are discussing the part 11, that is controlling technique, and in this session we will be highlighting the module 52 that will be giving the insight about the limitation of the budgetary control, the reason for the failure in the budgetary control, and what could be the effective measures to make the budgetary control to be better. Okay. Before that, let us try to summarize the things about we have understood in the earlier module, that is the module 51. In the part 11, we have started with the very first controlling technique, that is your budget or the budgetary control, and we have defined budget as a financial statement of future estimation of the cost prepared by each of the department for a particular period of time. And budgetary control is how the different performances are measured and it is compared with the actual budget standards and taking the corrective action. We have understood about the types of the budget, be it the sales budget, your production budget, your expenses budget, labor budget, fixed and the flexible budget, capital expenditure budget. Okay. So, all these budget we have got an insight is integrated towards the preparation of your master budget. The master budget will be prepared by the budget officer, who will be compiling the different reports of each of the department budget and submitting it to the higher authority. So, we have discussed too many things about the budget along with the advantages of the budgetary control. Now, as we know, with advantages there could be some disadvantages as well. So, in this module 52 will be understanding the limitation of the budgetary control, the reasons for failure of the budgeting and prerequisite for effective budgetary control. So, let us try to understand each of the limitation one by one. Very first one, inaccuracy. Why? Because budget are prepared based on the estimation. We have discussed now, it is uncertain because of the future activity. All right. So, it could be whatever your estimation is, or each department is planning to reach that particular level. Okay, your production budget. Your production budget is estimated that you should be preparing 10,000 of the total unit of the product in the coming quarter, and all your budget are prepared based on this estimation. Now, suddenly there is some change in the situation. Okay, consumer taste and preferences has changed, consumer disposable income has decreased, or the competitor's product has become a hit or popular. In that situation, you will not be able to reach the 10,000 unit mark. So, it could be that whatever the fund you have got it for the estimation of your 10,000 unit of the product, you will not be able to achieve it. So, there is always a chance of uncertainty with respect to the budgeting part. Okay. Second one is your rigidity. Rigidity means less flexibility. It could be you are preparing a fixed budget. We have discussed not the types of the budget, fixed and the flexible. Suppose the type of the budget you are preparing is the fixed budget and suddenly there is change in the situation. There could be some a situation like the pandemic happened. Okay, there could be like the situation of your demonetization or sudden change in the economic structure. Then if your budget is fixed budget, then the management will be facing too many problems because it is not flexible. You will not be able to change because of the some of the crunch of the fund. Okay, expensive. Budget is very expensive. Like you invest too much of time. Each department are engaged in preparation of their different activities that they need to do in the future, and based on that activity, estimation of that activity, your budgets are prepared. Okay, too much of cost are incurred because too many meetings will be there, your supervisory activities or operational activities will be hampered. Okay, so this will ultimately cost the organization more, and the budgeting as a overall function can become very costly. Next is budget misuse. It talks about it may be each department are preparing the budget. Like few department may report the exaggerated amount of the sales. Okay, the sales department we are talking about. Now sales department can provide the wrong information or inaccurate information about the estimation of the total sales that they will be doing in a coming year. What could be the purpose? 2 lakh unit they have estimated that they will be able to sell 2 lakh unit. Now the point is they will not be able to reach this unit, and only 1,20,000 they will be able to reach it. So ultimately the problem is that the sales manager is reporting an inaccurate information instead of the accurate information, which is 1,20,000. What could be the intention or the purpose for this? They will be getting higher amount of fund in the 2 lakh of the estimation and lower amount of fund in 1,20,000 units that they are reporting. Okay, so it could be that when the budgets are prepared, wrong information or inaccurate information can be estimated or predicted to get higher amount of fund for their department. All right, emotional resistance. Budget is something which is prepared based on the discussion, based on the interconnectedness of all the departments. We have seen or discussed about the relationship of the budget, that budget is prepared not by independent department. It is prepared by an independent department, but the relationship is like the failure of one department can lead to the failure of other department's budget. If the sales department has estimated that the product or the sales will be increased by 25%, so at the same time your production will be also increased by 25% now, then how you will be able to provide the product to the sales team? How they will be able to sell those product? Even the demand will be created, but there is no product. So if the production department fails, then the sales department will also fails. It means there is a coordination of all the departments. Okay, if this coordination is missing, if there is a internal clash between the department, then it could lead towards the inefficiency of the budgeting measures. Okay, so it is something, the budget function is something which are interrelated. If those coordination is missing, then the result will not be as expected. And last one is not substitute to management. Even though you prepared the budget, you have an estimation, you are not very much reliable on the like the output of the budgets, okay, or you will be not too much certain that these things will happen. At the end, there is like the management or the top level manager need to like provide their experiences, their viewpoints on how the things will be done, because your budget is prepared for the future which is uncertain. All right, so in order to tackle these uncertainty, the future element, you need to have like take some decision to neutralize this uncertainty. So it is not a substitute of the management. Okay, so with this we have like discussed about the limitation of the budget. Although there are certain limitations of the budgeting part, but at the same time it is very important for the management to like decide the budget, to prepare the budget based on the estimation, based on the quantitative and qualitative estimations, and based on the integrated effort of all the employees within the organization. If it is not so, the budget costs are very high, and what you expect from the budget is that your efficiency can be increased, and if the limitations are not taken into the consideration, your budget can lead towards more vulnerable situation for the company. Okay, next is the reasons for the failure in the budgeting. Why sometimes we discuss that you were not able to like match the budgeted output. Okay, it means like try to understand with our situation, like with the very first month, okay, we are having the fund, like we are getting the salary, are we getting the money from our parents, okay, then we prepare the budget, like out of the money we have, we will be spending into the different heads, for the food, for the clothing, for the entertainment, for some kind of investment, and some portion for the saving. All right, if the proper principles is not followed, or you are spending too much on your entertainment or too much on your health or your food, okay, ultimately your saving or the investment will be hampered. So what are the different things that will leading towards the failure of the budgeting in the companies? Okay, very first one is defective organizational systems. Okay, if the organizational system is, suppose in a company XYZ, different departments are there, marketing, finance, HR, IT, all right, different departments are there. If the coordination between all the department is not so good, ultimately what will happen? Your organizational system or your organizational structure is not proper. All right, it means the employee are not coordinated with each other in preparing the budget or performing any kind of duties. This will hamper the overall budget as well. Okay, so proper organization system should be there. Inadequate accounting and costing system. We will be discussing in the future course of our budgeting, okay, regarding what are the different techniques which are used for the budgeting, what are the different accounting systems. Okay, like zero based budgeting is one of the accounting measures for the budgeting, where the budget are prepared not based on the earlier estimation but based on the current situation. Okay, so if the management is not following the proper accounting system or the costing system, then there is no means, or the budget will not be reflecting a good results. All right, third one is inaccurate forecast. Like it is the most important aspect. If the manager, okay, suppose the sales manager will be estimating the total sales. How the estimation will be done, like for the next 6 months or 9 months or 1 year, our sales will be increasing, for example. Okay, then on what basis they will be estimating? Based on the events that will be done in the future. Okay, suppose we can take the example of upcoming World Cup, T20 World Cup will be there. Then it could be some of the companies, the soft drink companies or the companies related to some like the advertising agency, they will be predicting, like, because the view or the internet view will be higher, we can promote more products through like Hotstar or some Star Sports, so that reach of the product will be higher, and we can expect when the reach of the product will be higher, the product sales will be higher. So this is a way of predicting. But if the prediction or the forecasting is not as per the certain methods or certain scientific methods based on just rule of thumb, then it could lead toward the inaccurate forecasting, and you are not able to meet the standards. So this is the third reason for the failure in the budgeting. Fourth one is setting high and unrealistic assumptions or the expectation. It means like your budget is prepared, and in the budget you have estimated, okay, current, like the last 2 years the sales was suppose 20,000 units and 22,000 units. Okay, for the third year you are expecting the sales could reach towards 40,000 units. Until and unless you do some exceptional thing, the mark, the double mark will not be achieved. Okay, so it could be your budgeting can fail if you are setting certain unrealistic expectation from the budget. Okay, lack of active support from management, like from where you will be getting the fund. You have prepared a very good budget based on very near to accurate expectation or your estimation. But at the same time, your top manager has no trust on the different departments. They are more conserved to keep the funds. What will happen in that situation? You will be not getting the support from the top management, and as a result your efficiency will be decreased. Okay, ineffective supervision is the next one. Like budget are prepared under the supervision of each departmental head. We have discussed now, you have one departmental head from the marketing, finance, HR, IT, whatever the department who are preparing the budget, the departmental head will be acting as a leading role. Okay, so if the leading person of the marketing, finance, HR or IT, okay, they are inefficient or they are not providing too much of time to their subordinates. Subordinates will be working under each of the department. Then the budget expectation or the result of the budget will not be as expected by the top level management. Okay. Ineffective administration, it is the same thing, like the lack of active support from the management. Okay, if the management is ineffective, the administrative is ineffective, in that situation there is no point for preparing the budget, or the budget results will be not very impactful. And last one is the failure to revise the standards estimates. Okay, now it is the like the things we have already discussed. If your standard estimates, you are preparing the flexible budget where everything is based on the specific situation. Okay, you have the element to revise the estimates or the budget standards. Okay, so in that situation, if external environment changes, certain changes in the legal aspect, the political aspect, the economical aspect, and you are not capable enough to revise the standard estimate. Even in that situation, your budget will be a failure budget. Okay. So, with this we have discussed about the reasons for the failure in the budget, and thoroughly we have tried to understand what are the different ways or reasons for the failure in the budget. So, largely if we have to sum up, the budget can fail because of like the organizational element, because of the external element, because of the ineffectiveness or capabilities of the superiors, ineffectiveness and capabilities of the management, as well as the subordinates as well. Okay. So, these are the factors that could lead towards the failure in the budget. Now, before the budgets are prepared, what are the different elements which are required by the budget officers or the departmental heads? What the things should be kept in mind? We should try to understand it, because it may be that you students may be joining some of the companies in the future. You will be preparing the budgets, you will be at the higher position, and the management will be assigning you the responsibility to prepare the sales budget, the marketing budget, or any kind of the budget in which department you are appointed for. So, what you will be doing, what the planning you will be doing before the budget will be prepared? Let us try to discuss these parts. Very first one is the accurate forecasting. Now, we are discussing it repetitively, like the budget is done for the future. Future is uncertain, and you need to have clarity about the uncertainty. So, there are different techniques through which you can forecast the different activities to be conducted in the future. All right. So, it is very important that your budgeting process should be based on certain parameter, based on certain accurate information or accurate forecasting. Okay. Suppose you are appointed as a sales manager. Now, budget is prepared every year. Now, you are given the responsibility to make an estimation of the total sales for the future. Now, based on some surveys, okay, based on some government data, based on international market, international economic market, okay, based on the competitors product and other factors. There are innumerous factors. So, based on certain parameters, based on certain factors, you will be making a forecast. If these factors are not taken into the consideration and you are just assuming that for the last 2 years, 3 years sales has been increasing by 10%, now in the future also it will increase by 10%. Is it so? It is also one of the ways, but it is not too much scientific, because whatever the situation was in the past may not prevail in the current and as well as in the future. Okay. So, accurate forecasting is a very important factor in the effective budgetary control measure. Sound organizational structure. One of the limitations that we have discussed is the defective organizational structure. So, organizational structure should be very smooth, and each department should be discussing the things with the lower as well as the upper level. There should be an integrated effort for the preparation of the budget. Coordination we have discussed is an essence of the management, which can be implied in your budgeting or your controlling process as well. Okay. Flexibility any situation, external environmental factors impacting your business decision, your budget will be flexible enough to adapt itself. Okay, so flexibility is also one of the important factor. Quick recording and reporting. Like controlling, we have seen the concurrent controlling technique, which talks about the immediate decisions if any kind of problem arises. Okay, so in the budgeting, it is also important that any kind of like deviation from the existing plan or deviation from the existing budget or the fund is reported, then it should be immediately, it should be tackled off, or the any kind of remedial action can be taken, so that the problem will be like solved in that situation only. It will not be expanding. Top management support, it is the most important thing. If the top management is not supporting with respect to like allocation of the fund, suppose your capital expenditure budget, you are having of rupees 2 crores, because you are planning for the new project, and the new project you need to have more machinery, new your land you will be purchasing, or equipment you will be purchasing. So that will be like ultimately influencing a higher budget for the like production or your any kind of team that they are doing. So if the top management has no support or little trust on you, they may not be approving the budget. Okay, so it is important that there should be a like trust between the different levels of the management. Participation, the employees or the subordinate should be taken for like they should be given the opportunity to take the role in taking the decision for the preparation of the budget. They should not act as a clerk. Okay, they should be like using their own decision making thing towards the preparation of the budget. What will happen? Ultimate results, it will be leading towards your like motivation level of the subordinates. Okay, so this point is also very important. Sufficient time, like budget is prepared for a particular period of time. Once the particular any project is completed, the next project deadline will be there. So it will lead towards like sufficient time should be provided to each of the element of the budget, or the budget officer, the budget members. They need to provide sufficient time so that they can complete the budgeting things properly. On the other hand, suppose you are in a very hurry to prepare the budget, what will happen? Ultimately, your accuracy of information or forecasting estimation will be lower, and whatever the things you will be preparing, it will not be as accurate if you would have prepared it based on certain like exploration of the factors, some quantitative techniques you would be using. Okay, so these things are very much important. Open communication, it talks about the like your integration efforts. Okay, how one department is communicating the things freely with the other department. If it is not there, then ultimately the flow of information will not be there from top to level and bottom to top. And for the preparation of the budget, it is very important a free communication should be there, because budget is not prepared in a day. While preparing the budget, too many difficulties will be there that need to be tackled immediately. So all these things should be done well in time. So in this module, we have talked about the limitation of the budgetary control, the reason for the failure in the budgeting, and last one is what are the factors that need to be kept in mind while preparing the budget. And I leave you with some of the suggested books that you can go through it. And in the upcoming module, we'll be discussing some of the modern techniques of the budgetary control or your controlling techniques, the balanced scorecard and the integrated ratio analysis. That's all for this session. Thank you so much.